Get it in a moment.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Hello, everyone. Not going to be too long. I have physio today. My physio has been approved. Yay. Uh, so got that. Did my little things that I'm supposed to be doing. I have a whole physio piriformis stretches that I have to do. And see my stretches is all. And I've been doing them pretty regular. No, I'm not going to say every day. Good morning. Good morning. Um, this one I do every single day. That trunk flex I do. And the pulling the knee to the opposite shoulder. Oh, that one really, that one is absolutely great. The chair one I don't do as often. I try and do the stretches with the wall, and that you just cross your legs and then you I'm doing that. They do help. I have to say they do really help. I do feel a difference during the day, and for me to be able to do things. I just took the dog for a little walk and just up the road so Mateus could go to the park for a bit. And what I find is even with a walk, I'm glad I sat down and just let him play because it really helped my left lower back right by my butt. That lumbard, is it called the lumbard? I'm not sure, but that part, because it seizes up on me. And it's all pertaining back to the accident that I had over a year ago. And I didn't know I could get more physio, but yeah, I can. So I think also what really triggered it too, because I had to go back to work and just doing a lot of standing and then going up and down a ladder. That ladder thing. Ding, 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 ding. And moving when we finally had to close the store down because it was a pop-up. Whoa, that those last few days were just totally harsh. Like I couldn't, I found myself because we had to count everything, and I was just because of some of the pain I was going through, my counting was off. And I noticed that too with that too. Took my nail polish off, and yeah, gotta do. I like in the summertime, I like to have my nails done. Like just putting nail polish on, and because it just sort of looks pretty. I don't get my I don't get them professionally done. I did years ago. Just this is just a chit chat before we get into some of the craziness. Um, I used to, and then I found that my nails were starting to go funny, so I stopped doing it and stopped getting my nails done. So, but I'd get them, what would they call it? Sporty length. That's what I got them. I got them the sport. I would not, I could never do long nails, but the sporty length and stuff like that, very polished. And my favorite was a French manicure because I think it looked posh. It looked bougie. I like the bougie look. So, yeah. So I do have a little bit of bougie in me. Just saying. So, anyways, today I woke up feeling just so overwhelmed. I've been overwhelmed the last few days. Um, and it's just been one of those um, times that I think with the full moon, with everything going into like the Gemini move, retrogrades, blah. And of course, it does. It really hits. And I did my second ritual that I sent out to everybody. So I did day 2 of the ritual for I sent that out yesterday to my Sacred Summer group, and I've got some feedback from a couple people, and they really appreciated it. They really appreciated the me telling them to go have a soak with with Epsom salt and baking soda, and then just adding the frankincense, just allowing for that cleansing to happen. Because I really feel your protection of your aura and protection of self is important. And that's because there's so many people just freaking out. Like people are freaking out over the Epstein thing. I said long ago, like I did a video, and this is when I I think it. I think it. I think it. I think it. I thought it. I think it was back in 2017 when I just moved into the duplex, and I channeled the whole thing with Epstein and how deep it went. And with that, we I was talking about, because it's so deep and because where it goes, you're not gonna get any information out of that, and not in our lifetime anyways, right? We'll be long dead before anything, and nobody will remember who the hell he was until they actually go into what's happening in New Mexico and his ranch at New Mexico. And that, I think, is the key of, looking into the investigation of what was going on there. I think that correlates to things that were going on in I got Germany during World War II when the Germans set up camps or set up a hotel for unwed mothers and for breeding purposes, as horrible as that sounds. And these women would be breeders. And that's very similar to what was happening in New Mexico. Just it's horrific, right? And the things that were done to those women and the things that were done to some of the women, of course, down there. So a lot of that information we're not going to get right now. There's a lot of things with Pluto and Aquarius has to do with secret societies and watching how people are freaking out about things, right? I think our focus has to do and sending prayers to people that are in the floods. Like, I don't care if it's man-made or not, right? It's the lives of everything that people, things that are being destroyed on people and the lives that are being lost. And I mean, I don't think they even have the full sum because even in Northern Carolina, where it was, I think was it last year, the big flood, or a year and a half ago? They're still searching for bodies, right? And the thing is that when a natural disaster like that happens, a lot of people don't realize that it it leaves the family hanging, definitely, because there's really no closure. But on the Muggle side, it leaves a lot of things hanging financially, bank accounts. If they had a joint account, if they were, if the house was in their name, the family can't do anything or even have construction done. So many crazy things, right? Because there is no proof of death, and you have to wait so long after the disaster to like 5 years or something before you can actually do a full claim. So, so there's things like that, and a lot of times people don't really know that type of information. Even what's happening in Hawaii, what happened in Hawaii a couple of years ago, and with the fires and stuff that happened there, and still there's not a lot of building, but we all know what the whole gist of a lot of things that are happening and why certain things are going on. But at the core of it, it's the humanity. And that's where a lot of the astrology comes in, is like coming to the true essence of humanity, the true essence of of us, of people, right? And what is that essence? And that's the core. It's not the government, it's not any of the other bullshit that's going on, or what do I have here? Oh, what do we have? We have military members accused of a militant plot in Quebec. We have you're an extremist now, with RCMP labels traditional values as extremist, as Mark Carney, um, is coming out about things like that. What else? Oh God, we can go on. Things like newcomers stare at a woman, a community. What's this? Alleged foreigners staring at females. So there's just so much crazy that is out there right now that we really have to start coming in and focusing on what is truly important, and that is what is within our heart and how we can come in to our own divinity and look at um, how we can relate to the world at hand. Uh, so this is where And especially with a path that, being a spiritualist, a creative, service path based, it demands, for me, I feel like it demands everything, and it does, eh, and does it. I mean, it's the heart, the courage, the breath, and sometimes we have to look at, it feels like it's asking so much. And I think that's what people get afraid of, is because when we're coming into an alignment with the divine, with God, with Jesus, or whoever you name your God to be, but it feels like it's asking you to give from a well that's nearly dry. And I feel like that can get very, feeling like there's nothing else to give. And this is where, yet, you got to come back to that you're still breathing, there's still hope. You're still clinging, and yes, even though that it feels like, for me, like I'm clinging onto the side of a mountain, and I'm just, there's a, in one of, I can't remember what oracle card is, but she's just hanging there on the side of a cliff. And, and she's just sort of hanging there, and it's just to have that faith, right? And that you're going to be okay. You're still clinging, you're still hanging on. And if you look down, it's not really a far drop, right? You could just sort of let go. um, and so there is this breath that has to be taken at every moment as we go along, and do a reset and a realign and a grounding. And this is where honest grounding, coming in, doing the rituals. And it seems sometimes it's like, oh my God, this is like way too much. We can't be doing all of this. This is crazy, right? We can't continue doing um, all of this. Like, this is too much. But in essence, it's not. It feels like it's easier just to give up and not do anything, or not step out, or it's easier not to step into the truth. But stepping in the truth and stepping into that alignment is the freedom. Yet everything in our world is saying it's not. That's not the freedom. No, you got to go over here. You got to drill it till you die, kind of thing. Just go for it. And yet you got to take that time. So, I mean, this morning, just taking the dog for a walk, going to the park, and Mateus running around, allowing that, it just those moments of breath. Because in that time, I wasn't thinking about anything. I wasn't thinking about anything that was overdue. I wasn't thinking about anything that needed to be done at that moment. I was just in the present moment of just watching him play, and the dog just laying there. Just basically, she doesn't watch Mateo. She's funny because she watches the surroundings. She's like she's a guard dog. My little chihuahua is a guard dog as we're at the park, and she's like, "Oh, there's a dog down there," and she watches, and there's somebody walking over there, or somebody jogging. So she just stays on guard. So it's like a little guardian angel. And that's the whole thing. It's like you have these guardian angels that are watching over you. Even though it feels like, holy shit, my life feels like I'm not moving forward, or nothing's going on, right? And just taking that time to be in the present moment is the most important thing at this time. And I'm trying because it feels very taxing and very overwhelming, um, with not only my muggle world at this time. It's very easy just to sit in the spiritual world and just be there all day long, uh, and not deal, but you still have to come out and deal. I don't, am I making sense, or am I just rambling? Hmm. It's things like this. This cup I found for, I think, 4.99, was it, Steve? And it's a $70 cup that's made at a Japanese studio, and they have a whole designing of different stuff, right? Of different, and I've been on the lookout since for this brand, and it's, oh, I can't even see it right now. I can't, and I'm not going to turn it upside down because it's probably, but it's from a specific studio. And just finding that, the Afghans I found, and stuff like that, for like $5, $7, And I find, okay, that's joy, finding those little things that have joy. So right now, I'm just an FYI. As I said, my Muggle world is kind of crazy right now, so I may not be able to get on here every single day, just in case things don't come together. um, and just allowing that, if it happens, it happens. It is what it is. So, and you just have to embrace it, right? So, did have some good news. We got an increase with a tiny, tiny little increase with pension and stuff like that. Not a whole lot, but hey, we'll take what we can get. And but that's not till the end of the month. But woohoo! It's not as much as if we snuck into the country and pretended to be illegals. So yeah, we just anyways, let that one go, Mary. Let that one go. But the feeling of the energies right now today, and as we're creeping up, especially with the moon is in Capricorn, and tomorrow will be the apex of the full moon. The full moon looked beautiful last night. I took a picture of it outside my bedroom window. And then this little thingy went by. It looked like, I don't know, a drone or something. It must have to do with Stampede because the fireworks were going on. So it might have had to do with that. It was like a green, was it green or something with blue little lights around it? Just, yeah, it was horizontal. And then it went by in the sky and stuff. So that was kind of cool. But yeah. So, my loves, let's pull some cards. And then I'm going to have breakfast. Is it not like midnight? Is it not at like midnight tonight? What, the full moon? The full moon. The apex of the full moon? Depending where you are. I have it written in some of my other books. July 2025, also known as the Buck Moon, will rise on July 10th, offering a spectacular lunar show for sky watchers. The moon will reach full illumination at 4:37 Eastern Standard Time. So 4:37 Eastern Standard Time. So that's when it will reach its apex tomorrow. So there you go. That's from. So I mean, it was full last night, definitely. Yeah, 4:30 everywhere I look, 4:30 and that's according to astronomical applications of the old Farmer's Almanac and the US Naval Observatory and NASA. So those are, I ain't gonna argue with those guys. Yeah, it's tomorrow. Today, the moon is has just gone into it's just gone into let's open this in a tab. So the moon is only at 3 degrees. It's usually full for 3 days, is it not? And well, it looks full for 3 days, but it's not at its fullness. Okay, like it starts to look full, but into being its fullness isn't till 4:37 or whatever I said. 4:37 tomorrow Eastern Standard Time. So 4:37. So you take 4 and you take away 3, it'd be 137 during the day. That'll be at its fullness tomorrow. For witchcraft practices, we always say 3 days before and 3 days after, but you start to see as the moon comes off the fullness, it starts to wane. So you're starting to enter into the waning process. So if you're doing any practices and stuff after the full moon, you got to realize that it doesn't have the full potential, the full oomph of the energy. We are only 2 hours. Well, I went to Eastern Pacific Standard Time, and that's 3. Yeah. What is that during the day? Yeah, it's during the day. Yes. The moon is up during the day. We just can't see it. Let's fuck with people's heads. The moon is up, right? We just can't see it. But if you are looking at putting anything out in the moonlight, if you're thinking of doing any moon water, this moon is spectacular for it. It does have a lot of positive energies with it. Sometimes you can see it, and that's usually when I don't have all the explanation for it, but sometimes you can. It's all because the moon and the sun, when it's full, it's equal, right? It's equal and on the horizon, on opposite ends, and it's equal. Usually when it starts to wane because of certain degrees, then you can start seeing it during the day. So, getting into astronomy. So, but anyways, if you're putting any moon water or anything out, I can show you like if you look at, this is the chart for this very moment. That's the chart. Now, if you look down here, the sun and the moon aren't doing anything. They're not even connecting right now. They're not going to connect till later on. So usually you would have some kind of glyph there, like if it's squaring, if it's in an opposition, but there's nothing there, right? So right now, here's the moon and here's the sun. And if you go down, the moon is in where Jupiter is in an opposition to Jupiter. Can't see right now. Yeah. So there's an opposition to Jupiter. So right now it's in an opposition to Jupiter. And that's what it's doing in the sky right now. So it has this opposition right now to Jupiter, which is, it's nice. It's looking at how we can illuminate, how we can come together, how we are able to connect, right? And what are we expanding? And the thing is, with Jupiter being in Cancer, now this can be this is because it's going to be there for a year. Jupiter's energy changes every, like with the moon. So the energy can really shift on you because of where the moon is. And the moon takes an average of 2.5 days in every sign. So this is like this energy shifting. And then because it disposits Cancer, it rules Cancer, right? So Jupiter being in there will feel like, sometimes it feels like things are expanding for you. Sometimes it feels like it's coming back, and it's retracting. It's not doing the fullness that you would like it to do. And you also have to look at, where is that in, again, where is it in your chart? Understanding your chart, understanding where those movements are within your own chart. And that gives you sort of an idea of what are the restraints happening in your life at this time. So you might be having that there are some restraints that are going on in your world, and it could be financial, it could be personal, it could be where you are just in a time where you just really have to allow and let things go, allow for that flow to happen in your world. And that could be that could be a very difficult for people to do, to let go and just not trying to control or trying to grab the wheel in every second, right? And that can be very difficult. But this moon in Capricorn is getting us to really ground things out, really get things organized, especially when there's so much fire and air in the chart, right? So there's a lot of fire, there's a lot of air. It's pulling us, right? It's getting us. We want to move, we want the answers. This is the swords. We want to cut through things, and the fire is like, well, this is my passion, and that could bring in the anxiety, and into the depths of your chakra, of your sacral chakra, right? So you can feel a lot of the anxiety and the overwhelmness there, and wanting to ground. And it's like, no, I don't want to ground. I don't want to, stabilize this energy, because for whatever reason, because our minds go squirrely. So taking this, and especially with still having a Cancer sun, it's like, okay, stepping into that emotion. So there is a lot of emotion that people will have during this time. A lot of things are going to rise up for people, challenges, and that's where we just have to take that time to trust, and to have faith, and have hope. Hope is a word for me that is taken. Sometimes I felt like it was like empty. To have hope is like empty promises, and that's a belief I've had for so long. But it's like, no, faith and hope have to go together. You have to have that hope, that essence, that yes, this is the direction that we are going in. Things are coming together the way that we need it to come together. So, yeah. A friend, another beautiful psychic, Sherry, has turned 81 today. Wow. And it's her birthday. Shara Farrell. She's a beautiful psychic. And she uses her voice for healing. In that, she's done a lot of voice for healing. So yeah, it's her birthday today, and I just calling out on her. I don't know if she ever listens to my stuff, but sending her out so much love today. So I think that's it's kind of a milestone when you get into the 80s. just getting into the 70s is a milestone as well, in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Woo, rock and roll time. I'm trying to think of what the extended cares are going to look like when if ever I get into one. What are they going to look like? Like, I remember my grandmother when she was in David Lloyd Jones. It was a care home in Kelowna, and we'd go there, and she loved listening to Lawrence Welk. I just dated myself, but anybody who knows who Lawrence Welk is, she loved it. And to sit there and watch them, dance and things like that. She really, really enjoyed that. And I didn't understand it till I started to really look into some of her history, and started to realize my grandmother was born in 83 or something. And and what she had to wear, right? So she came from an era, the Victorian age, and into the Edwardian age. So she wore corsets and crinolines and things like that. And her shoes were laced up. And yeah, and always had long hair up in a bun, and things like that. When I got a picture of her of when she was younger, it was just like, holy shit, she was beautiful. She was beautiful. She had very black hair, bright blue eyes, and fair skin. And she was very petite. She was a little shorter than I am, but very petite woman. But when I knew her, she was my grandma. She was an older woman. She was in her 80s. And she didn't wear corsets anymore, but she always wore a dress. She always had to have a dress on. Like, she should never wear pants, kind of thing. So, and then her hair was shorter and styled. But yeah, just thinking of what they can be playing, what kind of like rap music, or Run DMC, Aerosmith, Motley Crue. Oh, Men Down Under. You know? Too funny. And I find it funny that a lot of people are getting back into when they like in their 60s or 70s, and I found quite a few people like, "Oh, I love bingo." And I'm just like, "I never liked bingo. I don't know what it is. Bingo and bowling. Those are two activities I never were drawn to. I just didn't see the fascination of them." But it's probably going to be bingo halls, maybe rave bingo halls and bowling alleys. Let's see what is going on. What do we got? Ooh, strength. Having the strength. Having strength. I love that. It's the eighth card in the major arcana. So as the fool is going upon his journey and everything that he's met. I mean, he's met the lovers, he's met the priestess, the empress. This is where he has to have that strength to carry on with all what he has gained so far upon his journey. He's not even halfway done upon his journey. He's getting there. But this is coming into where, yeah, you got to have that strength right now, and doing that in going forward, knowing that you might think this is the be all end all, this is life is shitty or whatever, but knowing that things will change. It is the infinity. I love the infinity. Things flow. There's an up and there's a down, and there's newness that can come in with that. And as you go along, in comes, of course, the Knight of Swords. Things are going to come in rapidly. So where you think you are is not going to be where you will and be there forever. Like, in comes that sword. Like, he's got the sword going forward. He's got the sword up. He's receiving the information, and I'm going forward. Typical Knight of Swords. I mean, he wants to get out there. He wants to be a part of things. He wants to, what's going on. He wants to, you know, mingle with people. I was just watching a whole thing on young children on the internet, influencers, right? And this is another thing. So you're going to find a lot of things with influencers. They're going to be fizzling out, that came in with Pluto and Capricorn. But this is where, looking at these two little girls, and then I found out like they were air signs, right? And I'm like, of course they want it. They'll talk to everybody. They want to get out there. They want to, they have no issues in being at a place and connecting with other people. They want to get out, and that's part of the energy here. We want to get out. We want to connect. We want to be around other people. But we've been in an energy that has been wanting to seclude us, wanting to hide us, not be a part of. And here we're in this new energy that says, no, we got to connect. You got to get out there. You got to ask, right? You got to ask. If you want something, you got to ask. If you're not going to ask, if you're going to hide away, then it's not going to happen, right? So you got to be able to get out there and ask. So when I tell people about my programs, the Sacred Summer Series, you want to join me? $75. You get 2 months. We got the Fall Series coming up, and that's going to be $100. And it's you know telling people about it, informing them, getting out there. Buy me a coffee. If you can't get a reading with me and you want to support the Guru Mama, buy me a coffee. And definitely would totally appreciate it, because it really helps keep things flowing and everything that I do out there, right? So these types of things, if you're not going to ask, if you have something that you are doing, or you have a company that you're doing, if you're not promoting it, if you're not letting it known, or if you're not letting people know how you're feeling, not in a gauche way, but in a way like, yeah, you know what, I'm having a hard time today. I just need a little bit, I need a moment. I need to take some time out. That's a good thing. You're being honest with yourself, and you're being honest with the people around you. You're like, I'm very frustrated with everything that's going on. Okay, right? You're addressing it. You're not spiritually bypassing it. And that's where this energy comes in. You have the strength to do that. But it's so easy for us to hide away. But in comes that Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is not one to hide away. Like, he's the one who's going to, you go out with the Knight of Swords, he's the one who's going to jump on the speaker. He's going to be the one out there talking to people and having a good time. And if that's not what you want to do, if that's not where you want to go, and you just want to go hide and be the wallflower, you're not going to be liking an air sign too much, because that Knight is saying, no, we're going forward. We're charging into this. We're going to get things done. And with that, we're going to enjoy it. We're going to connect with the people that we need to connect. That emotional connection comes in. Here comes the party girls, right? The party girls come in saying, you have a connection. You have people you can connect with. Connect with them. It's a sacred union. It's the trio. Allowing yourself to come in the sacred union with the people that you feel comfortable with, that you are able to connect with, right? That's going to be an important part as we go forward, and knowing that you have the strength to do it all. There you go. So, my loves, if you are wanting a reading right now, I do have my Divine Feminine with the Solar Arc astrology readings are on for $88. So if you want one, get a hold of me, DM. Absolutely fabulous. I just need your date of birth. If you have your time, would be great, and place. And I can do up a solar arc reading for you, because they're pretty powerful, and they are accurate. They are accurate. So just an FYI. Plus, with my own little 411 of intuition that comes in, my psychic abilities that have been graced upon me. So have a blessed one, and may the Lord and Lady watch over and bless you. And have a fabulous, fabulous day. Bye-bye.